Good morning. It's Monday, February 2nd, 2025. Wanted to take a look at a couple of books I picked up from a thrift store. First one is this one here. You'd Better Make Some Noise, Words to Change the World by Faden. And I think this Faden person, I don't know who it is. I don't know who this author is, but they have a little beginning, like a prologue. But really what they did is compile a bunch of quotes I think that they liked and put them together. So I thought this was a cool little book. I'm halfway through reading all these little quotes. But the quotes you can take out. There's a little perforation here, so you can kind of take it out if you like it and hang it up or frame it or whatever. But these are interesting little snippets of quotes, inspiring. I think those are needed for today. The other book I got at a thrift store, which I thought was really fascinating, and I would love to read it. Here's the problem with me in reading. My life is insane. It just seems like that. Maybe that's just me saying that, but I don't know when to find the time to read. I can find the time to veg for like 5 minutes and scroll through like an Instagram feed and watch some funny videos because that gives me my little dopamine hit, or whatever the hormone or chemical is that's going through my brain. I think it's dopamine. Serotonin? I don't know. But anyways, that's what gives me my little happiness, I guess, 5 minutes. I would love to spend more time and invest into a book, because there's something more about investing into a book. It can't be like 5 minutes at a time for me. I have to know that I have a dedicated time of an hour, 2 hours that I could just read, because there's so much else going on in the side of my in my peripheral. Like, I have X, Y, Z tasks to get done, that it impedes on my ability to focus on the book that I'm reading and to really understand what I'm reading. So reading a book like I found at the thrift store the other day, which is, outside of the index and the notes, let's see here, it's like 1,200 pages. I could never get through a 1,200 page book. I am 41 years old. I have not ever read a book that is 1,200 pages. Even when I was in college and I didn't have kids, I don't know, I just could not get through a book that long. It's hard for me even to get through a news article, and just being honest, without thinking about something else, or just feeling really bored, like, why am I reading this? Can I just get the summary? And maybe that's a huge flaw of myself. I think it is, maybe. Yeah. But on the other hand, I can get an audiobook and just listen to it on my way to work, and I can consume information that way. But I want to change that, and I do like reading. If I sit and I have the opportunity to read, then it is relaxing. I love gathering information that way. I just have never got myself to do that for a consistent period of time. A couple of years ago, I had an employer who, on my training, they assigned a book for me to read as part of my training. And that was amazing because it was part of my work. So it was one of my tasks. Like, it was part of my job to read the book. I felt guilty, honestly. Like, as I was sitting there reading this book, I felt guilt that I'm like, I should be doing something else right now, right? But I got through the book, and it was great, and it was relaxing. I was sitting at the desk and I was reading the book, and I'm like, this is amazing. Can I do this all the time? The answer is no. But anyway, the book I found, And I haven't even looked into, I don't know anything about this book. I don't know the history of this book. I did do a Google search real quick of the book, and a bunch of, I guess it's in print to this day, but it's an older book. It's called The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich, A History of Nazi Germany by William L. Shirer. So I want to begin this reading. This one was published in 1960. And it's the 18th printing. I did read the quotes in the beginning, and these are really interesting to me, so I'll share these. There's 3 quotes. The first one says, I have often felt a bitter sorrow at the thought of the German people, which is so estimable in the individual and so wretched in the generality. And that's a quote from Goethe, Goethe, I think that's how you pronounce it. The next quote, Hitler was the fate of Germany, and this fate could not be stayed. Field Marshal Walther von Baustisch, I don't know how to pronounce that, Commander-in-Chief of the German Army, 1938 to 1941. The next quote, 1,000 years will pass, and the guilt of Germany will not be erased. That's a quote from Hans Frank, Governor General of Poland, before his hanging at Nuremberg. And the last quote, those who do not remember the past are condemned to relive it. It's a quote from Santayana. Yeah, I want to dig into this book, maybe read a chapter here and there. It would take me forever to read that book, given my history and my schedule and everything else, but, you know, it'd be really cool. So, there you have it. Books. I like collecting them. It's harder for me to read them. So, I will forever be collecting books with the intention to crack them open, and maybe one day I will. So, there you have it. That's it.